So, Joel, can you hear me?
Hey everyone, so thank you for coming for this meeting. This is being conducted by FOSSMEC and School of AI as a collaboration. So today's World Open Data Day. So in the next half an hour or so, we'll be exploring on what open data means, the whole field over there, how is FOSS and open source related, why is School of AI related, and much more. So yeah, let's wait for few more minutes and then we'll kick off. All right. Welcome once again, everyone. So today we have a session on open data. And before we get into the content, let's have a few little introductions. And yes, a few more people have to come. So we'll start the session only by 6:30, 35. But until then, we'll have a few introductions. So, okay, let's begin. So Aditya will now be talking to us what FOSSMEC is, for those who don't know.
So, hi guys, I'm here to talk about FOSSMEC. What FOSSMEC is? It's basically a small organization within our college aimed at bringing that force cultures to students in our college. So this is a growing small organization within our college. Okay.
क्या
And we can everyone can hear me, right?
क्या बोल रहा है?
I'm audible, right?
हाँ
Okay.
हाँ देख लो.
So, okay.
अभी
Great.
क्या देख रहा है?
So, guys, can everyone mute their microphone because I can hear some noise.
खत्म करना है. खत्म कर लो और उसके बाद देख लो कोई डाउट है तो पूछो.
So, we are a small organization within our college that aims at bringing the force culture to the students. And okay, so we conduct events at our college that exposes people to different aspects of force. What are the benefits of it? And I think we're doing a good job with it. Okay, so we conduct events. For example, like most of you know about Hacktoberfest, right? It's a small event hosted by DigitalOcean in collaboration with GitHub. They aim at bringing introducing people to the open source culture, how to contribute to open source, what a Git is, what a GitHub is. So during that event in last October, at our college, we conducted a small event that introduced the first year students to GitHub and everything. It was a pretty good event. And then we had a small competition type event from Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp is a website where you can learn like tech stuff for free. They're delving into from beginners to high end stuff. So we used for Free Code Camp to host kind of a competition between students. It was a great event. Students were like they were happy doing it. They explored themselves like deep into the web technologies, web development stuff. It was a fun event, and as of now, we are hosting this event because of for the Open Data Day, and I think it's going well. And for the future, we are planning on conducting multiple events like this in the coming days, like a FOSSConf. We are planning. We're planning it to be a big event and a national level event with a few days of talks or workshops or hackathons or anything. And basically that's what we are planning with FOSSMEC. And there's an event that's hosted by Google called Google Summer of Code. You all know, most of you might know about it. And we are at FOSSMEC, we are trying to give any type of support to whoever want it for Google Summer of Code. Anyone can contact FOSSMEC or any of us regarding that, and we can help you get started with open source, get started with contributing to their organization and stuff. So that's basically FOSSMEC. We are a small student organization. Yeah, and also I'm welcoming everyone to any event that the future events we are going to host at FOSSMEC and our college. Okay, see, that's it. Also about force. If you are I read in the form that some of your beginners, you might not know much about force. If you don't worry, because we are having a small talk about what force is. You'll know what force is eventually. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, Aditya. Thank you so much for that good explanation. Now, this is a collaboration between FOSSMEC and School of AI. So I'm here to introduce School of AI. So for those who don't know, there's a YouTuber by the name of Siraj Raval. He creates a lot of educational content to explain what artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on. All these topics well explained. So it's part of his mission to have these learning peer groups all around the world. And as part of that, we have 4 in Kerala. And for those who don't know, we have few responses from Tamil Nadu. So welcome aboard. Really happy to have you all here. So if you don't know, in Kerala we have 4 School of AIs. We have Trivandrum, Kottayam, Calicut, and Kochi. So this particular event is being collaborated with School of AI Kochi. It's just started out. They've had only 2 meetups so far, but they're covering from the absolute basics. So if you're in Kochi and you're in and around, do consider coming to our meetup. We're going to have the next one coming weekend on the 9th of March, and we'll be there following forward. So if you're interested, do let us know in the feedback form in the end if you'd like to get updated with FOSSMEC or anything else. So that's pretty much from School of AI. Next, we have Varun, who's going to give a very small idea of what freedom is, the whole idea of FOSS. Yeah, Varun, you can take it over.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'd like to give an idea about what is free software. So free software places emphasis on the freedom of the users rather than the price. So as Stallman always used to quote, think free as in free speech and not free beer. So the idea is that we basically have freedom to do what we want with the software. It does not mean that we cannot sell it for a monetary benefit. It basically revolves around the 4 freedoms, which are, I'd like to read them out. So the 4 freedoms are the freedom to run the program as you wish for any purpose, the freedom to study how the program works and change it so it does your computing as you wish, access to the source code, which is a precondition for it, the freedom to redistribute copies so you can help others, the freedom to distribute copies of your modified version to others. By doing this, you can give the whole community a chance to benefit from your changes. Again, access to source code is a precondition for this. So basically, any software that qualifies all these 4 freedoms can be classified as a free software. One more important aspect is, for the software to be classified as a free software, it must be commercial. Like a software that is non-commercial, which is not available to the public, cannot be classified as a free software. So again, think of free as in freedom and not the monetary aspect of it. As Stallman always used to say, it's libre and not gratis. That's from my side. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Varun, for a very short and descriptive explanation of FOSS. Now, next we have the main session, Open Data by Hari. But before we go into that, I'd like to welcome whoever joined after that. We have now 11 participants in this team. So thank you so much for taking out the time and joining this webinar. In the next few minutes, you'll be learning about open data and much more. If you have any issues or you have any doubts, please feel free to message me in the chat option bottom. My name is Joel. You can message me and I'll help you out immediately. All right. So Hari, take it over.
Thank you, Joel. So, shall we get started? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Audible, right? I'm audible, right? Okay. So, I'm here to talk about open data. So, first of all, we all wish to have superpowers, right? So, you see all this kind of movies, you kind of see, you idealize superheroes, and open data is nothing but something that gives you sort of a superpower. So let's dive deeper into it. Okay, so this, I'm hoping you can see my presentation, which I've shared on screen. I hope it's available to people. So in case it's not, you can it's available for those who are sitting on laptops. It's available on pictalhari.co/OTT-Kochi, and I'll share that. Joel, can you share that link on this thing chat for everyone to see?
Yeah, sure. I'll type it in.
Yeah. So let's get started. So what exactly is open data? So basically, open data is data that is accessible to the public. And not only that, I'll quote this thing from Varun gave us a pretty good introduction to what FOSS is, like what free and open software is. But the concept of open software But here it is extended to data. Excuse me? Hello? So yeah, back as I was saying, like we live in an abundance of data. So open data is the data which is available for public use and it can be accessed, and you can build a lot of things which we'll just dive more into the possibilities that open data upholds. So before all of that, what is actually big data? So we live in we have more data in this world right now than ever before. So this the data revolution, as most people call it, is sometimes referred to as a 21st century renaissance and often considered to be on the same rank as the industrial revolution. So we have that is why open data comes in. So basically, yeah, you can do whatever you want on open data. You can build apps. You can if you have a startup or you can derive your market research. You can do this for your researchers, help communities, help organizations, all lot of stuff. But beware, don't mess up with data. You're doing someone else harm. So yeah, that's a nice meme there. You have plenty of data more than whatever. So let's get a little serious here. So what is the importance of open data? Open data avoids wastage of resources. Because you have plenty of data in this world, what happens is the open data actually helps you save tons and billions of resources. We'll be covering something called OpenStreetMaps in the coming this thing. So what it actually does is open data map is sort of what you can say a crowd-funded map. You have people donating you have people here who contribute to these maps. So as to that is how, and the map is formed based on that. So you have Uber, you have and if you play Pokemon Go, you have it uses OpenStreetMaps. So next time your Uber parks a half a kilometer ahead of your home, or you're complaining about not having a Pokestop nearby, that's on you. So it helps maintain transparency for organization. We have our budgets, right? Every country, every state has its budget. So it's often made public. It's often made public because it democratizes data. It is something that everyone should have the right to know what is going on. So that is why open data is. I'll be sharing a few links at the end of this presentation for you guys to check some cool stuff out and begin doing some more cool stuff. I'll get to that in a minute. And of course, it saves tremendous amounts of money. This is exactly tied up to the first point because it helps avoid a lot of resources, wastage of resources. So that is why we need data. So now let us discuss this in detail. Now, you can Joy will be sharing this link. I hope he had shared. So basically, you can check I've added some links here. You can check them out later at your own time. So basically, let me talk about Flint. So Flint was in the city in Michigan. So the problem there was so much contaminated water. So they had a drinking problem scarcity, and the problem was there wasn't much. The water was much toxicated. There wasn't much untoxicated water available. So the problem was back in 1910, when the pipes were pipes were set up for water systems, majority around 60% of those pipes were made of lead. So as you know, lead is toxic. So what the government officials had to do was to remove these lead pipes. So imagine the traditional scenario. You have to dig every potential place that has water pipes, and you have to check whether this data, these pipes and all, were lead or steel. And if it wasn't lead, well, that's a do-over, just waste of money and time. So they use open data, they collected data, they made it public. And what happened was like this helped the officials to predict presence of lead pipes under homes. They had data of the location of the so many things of the of the houses nearby, and what happened was like they were able to estimate the amount of if there was a lead pipe or not. So this entire project by a few students like us from the University of Michigan actually helped the government save around $10 million. So that's a huge amount of money. So basically that's how it saves a lot of time and money. Because you think about a small city, you can actually imagine the effort that goes into it. Now, this is a pretty interesting story. This is about the Tandale Open Data Initiative, which led to the birth of this world famous organization called Map Kibera. So Kibera is the slum in Nigeria, like in Africa. So what happened was like bunch of college students and residents in the area of the slum called Dar es Salaam. What it did was like they went out, took themselves out into the streets to map all infrastructural data and like uploaded it to OpenStreetMaps. So I mentioned OpenStreetMaps before, and basically what happened was that this helped. They have uploaded data like water pipes, like places where people live, all this garbage piling up, so potential garbage dumps and like all sort of such data. So this data came into like the eyes of the local government there, and this actually helped them build better roads, build better water facilities, and overall improve city planning and life in this remote part of the world. If you don't call that a superpower, I don't know what else is. So here is a sample of that, like of what they did. You can pretty much see they've mapped some very important data points here. And off to the next story. Now this is a pretty interesting story, this entire asthma story. So what happened was like, if any of you or any of your loved ones have asthma, you most probably know it's based on like environmental factors. So this problem was big. This happened in the US again. So this used to be like, majority of the people there suffer from asthma because of, air pollution and all this kind of stuff. So what a bunch of entrepreneurs came together, and what they did was like in the asthma inhaler, they embedded GPS chips, and every time a child or an adult actually took their asthma inhaler, they tracked the location, and this data was collectively mapped, and they used that to build the heat map. The output being 65% lesser asthma strikes from therefore. These heat maps actually help them prevent and better take care of health. And this is a huge feat. Like in a population of such height, like you have a huge amount of asthma affected people, because like if you have as per statistics, if you have 5 people in your friends circle, at least 2 people have it. That is the amount of people affected by asthma. And this is another story. PM Martian is, how we aim on going towards Mars. That's the future of human civilization, right? So BM Martian was a project by NASA. So what NASA did was they kind of built a game around open data, and they kind of made simulations where you can actually drive around your own Mars rover in Mars, in your computer or Oculus Rift. But thing is that helped them actually build more data, and probably that if you play that game, most probably you helped us getting into Mars. Elon Musk is the only one. So now we'll get to the core concept. Okay, I probably told, like, you might have known why open data and what is the power it possesses. So basically, if you take down into your street, you can find tons of problems which could have been solved by open data. Be it the garbage piling up in your dustbins because the government doesn't know what to do with it, like how to effectively manage it, or be your water supply, that is contaminated. I actually discussed that a bit a while back. Or be it your Uber prices were Uber Maps, where Uber gets your location wrong every time. So these are all like these are all the reasons that open data can actually help solve. Now, but open data as any other field, any other superpower, every superpower comes with problems of its own. And like, you can't go Super Saiyan in like one day. So basically, if you're going now to talk about challenges that open data has, we have like public data versus open data. So what is public data? Public data is data available to the public. You can demand, like with RTI and stuff, you can actually demand data, or if you like to be accessed. But how effective is it? You go to an office, you go to your school office, you see tons of piles of data which is more messier than my bedroom. So basically, that is the like actual public data that has been made available. And now we have open data which is digitally accessible to anyone, most probably in like formats like CSV or like database objects. I am not intending to go technical on here. And you have the other major challenge to this is inconsistency in data. So if you are living in Kollam, say, like you have multiple names for Kollam. Maybe it will be Quilon or Kollam. Or if you're living in Mumbai, that just makes the situation even worse. Like you have Mumbai, you have some people, locals even refer to it as Bombay. And you have like Bombay. So, lots of inconsistency in data and inaccurate data. Like if you're someone who provides data to, say, earn Google rewards, what do? You just try to guess what will make you more rewarding, what will give you more rewards. But that, while you're doing that, you're actually providing inaccurate data. This is like, there are so many, like, you just neglect lot of things you might neglect, but there's tons of inaccurate data out there. And all this old, digitalizing old files, it's manual work for most of it. And that leads to inconsistency and inaccurate data. But like, yeah. So before I get into some data repositories, let me share some hope. So I think you're aware with the movie The Imitation Game. So if you're not, it's basically like, the theory of where all of this actually, like even the machine you use actually started. So they used like, statistical analysis and mathematical modeling, and actually like, prevented from another 2 years of war. So that is the power of mathematics and statistics and data model and data science. I'm not telling that, this thing, but what I'm coming to is that thing, like, you think that's a big deal, like, it's a huge deal. But when 2014, when Germany won the World Cup, I hope it's 2014. Don't blame me for my poor FIFA knowledge skills. But yeah, so when Germany won the World Cup last time around, what happened was they used a lot of data analytics and to strategize, and that actually helped them win the match. And this was in 2014. So the data culture and this entire is kind of popping up. Even Mozilla is working on their open data repository where you can like build this thing. There's a lot of organizations promoting open data. Even if it's Google is opening, or like you have Google Trends where you can actually see the Google search over time. Its trends over different things. So that's again and hope. And but the downside is, like, remember the FIFA example I told you? That is the same year Bhutan had its census, and guess what? It got delayed because they didn't have access to enough pencils, apparently. So you can see the contradiction here. That is a major challenge. So you would see data being it's a superpower, but it's not democratized. If it's democratized, it's just be called power. But yeah, so here are some pretty cool open data repositories. So most governments have their own open data repositories. Okay, be it any government. So here are links which you can see in the presentation. I'll share it. I hope like it's on the chat, this thing. So like the government of India open data, you can find data about agriculture, rainfall, to hospitals, to like businesses registered and all those kind of stuff. You have the United Nations open data, same thing, but on a much global level, like more power. And then you have the NASA open data. I'm like, you guys can guess how cool that is, right? So that's like all open data like published by NASA over this entire year. And opendata.cern, that's CERN's open data. In case you don't know what CERN is, CERN is a place where World Wide Web was born. It's the same place where you have the Large Hadron Collider, where you have particle collisions and all. So these are some pretty useful links. You can like find open data. World Health Organization most organizations have open data. Be it World Health Organization, be it meteorological data, you can find almost anything open. But it's, people are not literate about it. That's why we are here. And like you have our world in data. Okay, so this our world in data is a project by this Harvard professor by name of Rosser. What he does is like he scraps data from books. He manually creates data. He collects all open data and like use it to build beautiful reports. And he actually collects data from lots of sources and make it publicly available. So it's worth checking it out. And yeah, before we move on to Q&A, so I told you about a lot of stuff, right? So now how to get started on this? So that is not part of this. So basically, if you have any experience in languages such as like R or Python, you have libraries for that. So basically, you can get like that open data from the internet. These are some links you can find, like lots of this thing. Even your university might have open data, or like just don't think that any data which is not secure is open data. It might be legal, but yeah. So that is there. Now, can we move on to Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely. We have around, if I'm not mistaken, we have around 5 or 6 minutes. So yeah, let's make the best use of this time. If anyone has any question, you can ask in the comment section or you can speak up.
Can I?
Yeah, sure. You can ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Niranjana. So my question
Hey, hi, Niranjana.
is regarding, hello, Hari. Yeah, so my question is regarding the authenticity of data. So like open data which is accessible to everyone. So I was like, is there something which can, is there sort of validation or sort of authentication that we can provide for the inconsistency and inaccuracy of data, which is a challenge to open data?
Exactly.
Yeah. So are there any developments that you're aware of?
Not much, because like, again, I told you most organizations like are again reluctant to like publish their open data, because obviously like, you don't see, if you're an organization, like transparency might actually backfire you. You get my point, right? If you are like, see, so what happened, the problem is, see, most organizations are like, you kind of like, mostly governments and like research institutes are where you get most of the data. Again, like I told you, data inaccuracy is a huge problem, because you can't like actually predict, like authenticity is again another issue, but it's like, as I told you, that's a big problem, and inconsistency of data, because most of these are like, again, data is due to like NLP passes and all. So again, like recognition of handwritten data is again a problem. So there's kind of problems in that field, which is yet to be like
So is there something that we can think about to actually rectify this situation?
um, there is this country called Estonia. It's a small European country near Russia, closer to Russia than to Europe. So they are a data-rich economy. Like they emphasize on like amounts of open data. It's the country's data infrastructure is something I'll recommend you to check out.
Okay.
There's videos on that. So basically, what they do is like they see, again, data is a huge problem. So what they had is like they have this kind of record on who actually uses this data. See, if you're actually using their data profiles, so they actually like they actually just keep the measure like of who is actually using the data, for what purposes. But apart from that, they just ask you like, if most data sets actually ask you why you are using this data for. So, but that is the only like authenticity you can actually provide. And the sources is like, most data is actually provided by organizations. But then again, like inaccuracy is a huge problem.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. I think one more person wanted to ask a question. Praja, did you have a question in mind you wanted to ask?
Hello.
If anyone has any question they want to ask, you can type in the comment section. Or if you're done, we can wind up.
I'd just like to add to the point. Wikimedia is something that is working successfully now. There are errors in it. It is error prone, but still reliability is quite up to the mark. Even that is an open data. Even though the accuracy is not top notch, by having measures such as like what Wikimedia had, I guess it is possible to increase the accuracy of the open data.
Okay, cool.
Again, like, as Varun said, again, cross-validation is one of the way you can actually prevent inaccurate data. Because as I told you about like the Google, like OpenStreetMaps, I've had like Atya here actually, actually updated a bit of data that was wrong about our college. So again, like that is kind of a good hope.
Okay, guys. So I wish we could take more questions, but our 40 minutes is almost over. So let's wind up. We'll have a feedback form. If you have any questions, you can add on to that. So once again, thank you all so much for coming for today's session. Thank you, Hari, for taking this wonderful session. I hope we can again have reasons to meet in FOSSMEC, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Again, this link to this PPT is shared, so you guys can use it if you want.
Mail will be sent.
Kochi. I have some videos and links there.